what if I was right in my last video? That has some pretty interesting ramifications for the Wonders meta and a lot of what we know about the game currently. Um, Particularly these powerhouse cards that we know and love, like Emma. I know the team and Frenchie have said all these times, don't fade Emma's playability, Emma's meta. Don't fade the cards that are right now like face cards, like popular cards. And I have the thought, if we're bringing in the Kevin Sorbos, all these cult classic favorite actors, nerd culture actors, whatever term you would like to use, I'll probably end up using cult classic a lot. But if we bring in cards that feature these actors, characters, whatever it is, how are those cards going to maintain their popularity? If if the team says those cards are going to maintain their popularity, I'm sure they have a plan, but I'm my knee-jerk reaction when I actually started thinking about it after I made the video was there's no way Emma's going to be as popular as some other cards. If we get a Kevin Sorbo and half of the people who play Wonders love Kevin Sorbo, that's like half of the people who like the Kevin Sorbo card more than the Emma card. And, not necessarily, but potentially. And I think figuring out the solution to this, how do we keep the cards that we want to grow and we want that Wonders wants to stay popular in the game and stay popular in the game, is a really interesting conundrum. And I honestly couldn't tell you how they're going to handle it. I don't know. I've been kind of racking my brain to try and come up with something since I, made the video, and I had the realization oh crap, if I had a Kevin Sorbo card, I might like that card more than Emma. It's just one of those things. The things that mattered to us and have nostalgia to us have great value emotionally to people. And so, we have DBS. And the reason that DBS is there is because they don't want to ban any cards and because it helps balance the game and all these things. But if you think about it, one of the ways that DBS does this, and one of the things that DBS watches out for, is combo cards. Cards that combo together. If Call of the Stones releases a card that combos really well with Emma's playability goes up, Emma's DBS goes up, and the playability and the DBS of that combo card are going to start high. So, I'm not certain, but I would expect that we're going to see cards. If we see celebrity cards, I expect we're going to see celebrity cards that are basically built to partner with other cards in Wonders and built to combo with other cards to raise, the viability of both cards. If the Kevin Sorbo card partner is made tailored to go with the Emma card, then it increases the playability and the strength of both cards when you're running both. So if you like Kevin Sorbo, you gotta run Emma just because that's how powerful the cards are together. And I think it's just gonna play out something like that. Now, the team may have thought of something that is radically different than what I'm talking about. I am not Brian Tinsman. I am not nearly as smart as Brian Tinsman. That man is a genius. But, they could come up with something that is completely different. But this is my guess on how I think this is going to happen. I just think it's going to have to play out really carefully, to keep that promise of the cards that we know and love right now continuing to grow and become more meta and more powerful and more beloved. And I think, just being careful about and intentional about looking at cards that you want, and especially when the new set comes out, figuring out, okay, if this is an actor from a show that I really like, maybe this is the card that goes with it, and we can see that lines up pretty well. Maybe if you want to run that actor's card, then you've got to run this other card, which increases the value of both cards. Like I said, I'm not really 100% sure on what the answer to this is. It just kind of struck me that basically if Wonders makes famous people make celebrity cards, those cards would typically innately be more popular than original character cards. But I have faith that Wonders is going to find a way. And like I said, this is the way that I think that's going to happen. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, and keep being your wonderful selves.